Hey guys, how's it going? Bonus, you guys get to see me today. We will do love readings once I'm done with the final spiritual session, which is number 12, for those of you who've been watching. And this one is on Ascension, or the different stages that you go through for spiritual awakening. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy hump day. I'm going to just go ahead and jump right in, and those of you who catch it, then you catch it. Thank y'all again for being here. Again, I go ahead and jump right in, and those of you who catch it, then you catch it. Thank y'all again for being here. Again, I will do love readings once we're done with this spiritual session. Hi. And y'all forgive me, I have a cough drop. So today we're going to go through the different stages of spiritual awakening, guys, which a lot of people and all of the things that have been deceiving us for so long. Okay. The spiritual awakening phase is a little scary for people who don't understand spirituality or haven't even delve into it at all. A lot of times it'll make people feel confused, even depressed, depending on what it is that you experience. You really don't know what's going on. Sometimes you get frustrated or you feel triggered, right? Disassociate from your friends and families. We really don't know what's going on. Sometimes you get frustrated or you feel triggered, right? Disassociate from your friends and families because you just kind of, you want to get away from the trauma of life, right? A lot of sudden changes happen. We call them tower moments in tarot, but you go through a lot of shifts and changes. A lot of sudden changes happen. We call them tower moments in tarot, but you go through a lot of shifts and changes. You feel like you're crazy, kind of like you're losing your mind. Thank you so much. Hi, Ebony. Basically the real world, or what you thought was the real world, it just doesn't make sense anymore. That's usually you waking to come online to the illusion of what you've been living in and what's been going on around you the whole time. You start to become aware of what you've been living in and what's been going on around you the whole time. You start to become aware of your thoughts, guys, and you have different aspects of yourself that you have to go within to deal with. It can be your ego, right? Your insecurities, things that you had to experience within to deal with. It can be your ego, right? Your insecurities, things that you had to experience for you to get to the place where you are. A lot of us go through that. So you have to go inward in order for you to free yourself. Going within, guys, is you're going to start reading a lot yourself, which I've done my whole life. But anybody who doesn't read a book at this point, you're really missing out. Okay, you need to be reading a book. You're not going to find everything on social media. You're not going to find everything on TV or movies. You got to dive deep. You got to do the research and do it for yourself. You're not going to find everything on social media. You're not going to find everything on TV or movies. You got to dive deep. You got to do the research and do it for yourself so that you know, right? Everybody's perception and everyone's interpretation Everybody's perception and everyone's interpretation is based off of your own experience, which is why it's so important for you to educate yourself about the life experiences that you had. Thank you so much, love. That way you have clarity and you can move forward with confidence. It's so important. Hi, Jay. So you go through this phase of trying to understand yourself, going within. You start educating yourself, reading books, okay, diving deeper, ask the universe for answers. You're going to experience a new version of yourself once you do that, okay? You're going to be reborn. You go in this phase, you go through an inward phase where you educate yourself, and then you come out reborn on the other side. Thank you so much, love. And that's when you start practicing meditation, connecting with your spirit team. Hi, Jay. You can do yoga. These are all the things that you want to do to get yourself in alignment so that you can receive the downloads from spirit. That's what I say to you guys about getting your chakras in alignment, meditating, tapping into that. You can receive the downloads from spirit. That's what I say to you guys about getting your chakras in alignment, meditating, tapping into downloads from spirit. That's what I say to you guys about getting your chakras in alignment, meditating, tapping into the difference between really connecting and being at a distance and not getting it all. So once you go through the healing phase, that's when you start really diving deep and dealing with childhood traumas, which we all have, okay? They're a part of the life experience and what you go through here. You have different things that happen to you for a reason. They're used as catalysts to help you to evolve and grow. Growing is not easy, and a lot of times it's very painful. But as you do the work, it gets easier, and you start to really understand life from a different perspective and why it is that you're really here. That is when you get enlightened, right? That's that enlightenment phase. Once you do the energy work, the healing, the childhood trauma, going within, and then that's when you get enlightened. You start to feel better about yourself. That's when you accept life for what it is and all of its challenges and why it is that you came to the place that you are. Then you start to enjoy life more, and you want to help other people be blessed and find that same path, which is basically where I am at. I'm at this path of really wanting you guys, hi Deborah and Kimberly, really wanting you guys to hear this so that you can find your way too. Those of you who are on your journey, maybe you're at the awareness phase, or maybe you're at the inward phase where you're just realizing, hey, I need to go within and figure out some more things about myself. Maybe you're at the phase where you want to heal the childhood traumas. That's those generational curse breakers where you get past all the, that's the part to me that's the hardest. Okay. Getting past those hard life lessons of why did these things happen to me? What am I supposed to learn from this, right? Don't stay or get stuck in a victim mentality. You want to free yourself from that. Thank you so much. Hi, Carrie. You want to free yourself from that, heal those places, and then move into the enlightenment phase, because that's how we create the new earth, which is where we're all headed for those of us who are doing the work, okay? There's some brutal life lessons, guys, that we go through. One of the first ones is you're gonna feel like life is unfair. So many people get stuck just in that place. That's like the first place, and they get stuck there. Accept immediately, okay, and execute goals to get yourself through that. Don't get stuck in that place of life isn't fair, okay? Understand that getting out of that is where you're going to find your true freedom. That's where you learn that life isn't about money, and that freedom really is about you choosing what you can do with your own free time. Freedom is being able to have free time. That's one of the things we can never get back, right? We can't get time back. Freedom is what you choose to do with your time. How many people are stuck on a job that they don't want to be on? Hi, Mia. And they wish that they could have that time to do something else, whether it's fishing or sewing or whatever your thing is, okay? True freedom, hey Morty, is having your freedom to do what you want to do with your time. But you have to do things to get yourself to that place. Also, nobody owes you a second chance, or nobody owes you a chance at anything in life. Okay, you can be talented and hardworking, but it doesn't mean that people are just going to hand you opportunities, guys. Everything in life, you're going to work for it. Just be prepared. It's all about work. You got the people who want to be thieves and they want to be scammers. They're still working. They're just working in the wrong direction. Hey, Naomi, put the work in a good way, in a positive way, to free yourself from this thing that we call the matrix. Okay, we'll just label it the matrix. Free yourself from that. You have to put in the work. Do it in the right way, okay? Just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're being productive, guys. It's easy to look busy and hardworking and doing things that, make it seem like you're actually making moves. But unless you see actual progress in your life, being busy is not being productive. You need to know that. There's going to be critics. You're going to have people around you that will criticize you. And usually the critics are the ones on the sidelines. They're the ones that are the loudest, but they're not doing anything, right? They try to one-up you or slow you down and keep you from gaining ground because they're not willing to do the work. So don't worry about critics. Don't worry about people's opinions and what they have to say. Hi, Salute Me. You're going to have to keep pushing forward, okay? Those of us who have done the childhood trauma and the generational curse breakers, we know what it is to be criticized. You know what that feels like, to be isolated and cast out and made to feel bad about yourself, okay? People who criticize are usually people who have their own insecurities. They're on the sidelines. They're not doing any work, okay? You wouldn't criticize someone if you knew what it was to do the work. So you can't take any of that or their opinion with any type of value. It doesn't hold any weight as far as I'm concerned. If you're here to criticize me, just go ahead and sit down because you're wasting your breath. I'm not listening to you. I'm moving forward. Remember, guys, money isn't everything. Okay. You go and ask a millionaire. You can have $20 million, right? But if you ask them if they could trade it all to be 20 again, a lot of them would, because you can't buy time. You can't get that time back. And a lot of people say, man, if I had the knowledge that I have today at 20, where would I be in life? I know I've said that a few times. So just remember, money isn't everything. Yes, we have to use it as a tool, as a means to provide a quality of life, but don't make money the end goal, because that's not where the true happiness lies, guys. Don't get stuck in that. They have a lot of us in this rat race of chasing money, and that's not where your true happiness is, okay? Your true happiness, and I always tell you guys, your energy, what you put out, that's your cosmic currency. What are you doing to evolve your soul? That's what's important. You want to think one step at a time when you're talking about moving mountains and doing things as far as progress. Hi, welcome to the live. Thank you so much. You caught my last spiritual session before. This is a tarot channel, but I do spiritual sessions on Wednesday. Welcome. But yeah, you want to take it one step at a time. You can't conquer a mountain in one leap, guys. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have to pace yourself. Thank you so much for the heart me's, guys. Appreciate the gifts. You want to make sure that you pace yourself so that you can feel confident and secure in everything, every step that you've taken to get to where you are. It's so important. Hi, Raven. So just remember that successes and failures are temporary. There's always going to be the next thing. What's the name of the song? Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately, right? What have you done lately? How are you progressing? I can assure you that your ascension, your spiritual growth, you awakening, it is a part of a lifetime, guys. There's no one time, and there's no one size fits all. It is a continuous growth. It's like a tree in the forest, right? It starts small and then it just continues to grow. Think of the redwoods. How long have they been around, right? They will continue to grow as long as there's nourishment for them and as long as they want to grow. You are the same way. So just know that success and failures are temporary. So don't beat yourself up about things when they don't go the way that you want. And don't get over cocky about your successes, because again, it's a temporary thing. There's always going to be that next level that you have to go to. There's always going to be someone better than you. And this is why it's so important not to get caught up in competing and comparing yourself to other people, because we're all at different levels and different phases of life. And it doesn't make sense to try to compare yourself to someone whose life is moving faster than yours, because their time here is shorter than yours, but you don't know that, right? Only the creator knows that. So sometimes people have to go through things a lot faster in life, because they're not going to be here as long as you. The creator made all of us different, and we all have unique journeys. Some of us will be here 80 plus years, and then others of us may live to our 30s or 50s. It just depends on where the creator has deemed your time is up. So you have to pay attention to just what's going on in your lane and not what other people got going on in theirs. Yes, it's okay to learn, but don't beat yourself up because you're not somewhere where someone else is. Correct. And so balance is also something you want to keep in mind, okay? Make sure you balance your life. Always remember to, look at life as like slices of the pie. Thank you for the roses, dear. Each slice of the pie needs attention, okay? You got to focus on your health. You got to focus on your spiritual side, right? You got family. You have all these different areas in your life that you need to give attention to. Don't get caught up in just one area, because you will lose ground if you do that. So don't get caught up in that. Set goals one step at a time. Don't compare yourself to others, and keep going. You can't. The other thing is, and it's really one of the hardest lessons, you can't control people's loyalty. A lot of people want to control other people, and you can't. You can't control what people are going to do. The only thing you have control over is yourself and how you respond. Okay. Thank you so much. And how you respond to that situation of what it is they've done. People will disappoint you. Okay. People will hurt your feelings. They will let you down. You have to accept that and move on. You can't control people. You can't change people's mind. You can't do any of that. Only thing you have control over is your own actions. So don't be so defeated by someone who isn't loyal to you. That's the best way I can put that. A lot of people have an issue with that because they've been so loyal to someone and then that person doesn't reciprocate the energy. And it's heartbreaking. It hurts, right? All you have to do is say to yourself, okay, I did my part. This is this person's integrity. This is where they're at. Then you have to leave them where they are and move on. And yes, that's one of the hard lessons, guys. It hurts like hell. It makes you feel bad, but you have to learn to feel bad for that person. That's their level of integrity. It's not yours. So be brave enough, okay, to know that sometimes there's just going to be things that disappoint you and you're going to feel like life sucks and you just have to let it go. You just have to let it go. Don't limit yourself because of other people's integrity level. That's not your responsibility. It's all up to you guys, okay? Basically, don't get caught up in the frenzy of comparing yourself to others because everyone has to live their own life and you just have to keep moving forward. Don't let people slow you down. One of these things you need to pay attention with spiritual awakening, guys. You go through what's called the dark night of the soul, and then you go into hermit mode where you want to isolate yourself. Then you go to a place of rebirth, right, where you want to educate yourself in order for you to expand your consciousness and grow. And then you get into this place of where, correct, Naomi, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. That's what that's called too. Then you get into this place of where you want to spread healing. You want to help other people avoid these snares and traps in life, right? As you've learned things. I mean, I do it with my kids, but I thought, well, my kids are older now. They're adults. I don't have grandkids yet. I'm into what I'm into. How can I share and help other people? People want to listen and it's here to help you to gain some ground, then great. If it's not for you, that's fine too. I'm not offended. I'm doing my part to help enlighten and encourage others because I've gone through this growth phase and I just want people to be in the same happy place. Okay. So this is a way, me sharing this is how you get to that happy place. You want to go through the dark night of the soul, get through all of the delusions and things like that. Start seeking the advice and the help that you need to heal yourself. Do the inner work in order for you to go through the rebirth and connect. Yeah, she said, I'm in my happy place. And so some of the things, guys, let's see. Spiritual awakening symptoms. Maybe, guys, if you still don't understand what I'm saying to you, you might be in some of these phases. Some things you look at life and you feel like your life has been a lie and there's been a lot of false things around you, right? You start craving a meaning or purpose in life. This is the beginning of your spiritual awakening when these things start happening. You start asking the deeper questions. You want to know things. You realize that you've been taught a bunch of lies. And that was the part that angered me the most. I felt like I wasted so much time believing lies that we've all been taught. Okay, that angered me the most. It's stealing time. Yes. You feel lost and alone. Sometimes you just start to see through the illusions in society. You really wake up to, okay, all this shit is false. Like, you start seeing it and it angers you. You just wake up. That's why it's called an awakening. You see how unhappy most people are in the world. You really start to see where people are walking around miserable because they're not awakened and they don't even know that they're sleeping. Zombies, they just don't know. You didn't know until you started waking up, right? You start wanting to purge things in life. You just start like getting rid of people and clothes that you don't wear anymore and just stuff that doesn't hold value, and you realize it's not helping you to progress, right? You start purging a lot of things in life. You start to have more empathetic and compassionate feelings. Thank you so much. You start to have these deep empathy and compassionate feelings for certain things because you're starting really to connect with the real things in life, okay? Which will make you become an empath. Water signs, y'all deal with this a lot. Maybe you get into this place again of isolation. You just want to be left alone. Just leave me alone so I can think, so I can focus, so I can read, so I can study, so I can heal. so I can just get rid of all of this junk that's been around me, right? You want to be alone. A lot of conversations are going to start to seem shallow, okay? I cannot sit and talk with people that aren't talking about meaningful things, guys. I'm just at a different place, and it's not me being rude, but superficial conversations just do not do it for me anymore, because I realize that my time is precious and there's so much more to life. And if this conversation is not helping either one of us to grow, or I don't see any progress coming out of it or anything productive coming out of it, then yeah, this is over. Like, I don't want to gossip. I don't want to talk about who did what. I don't even care what celebrities got going on. And I don't even see them as celebrities at this point, because if you could see behind the scenes of their life, trash. So I just don't want to have any type of conversation that's not going anywhere. You start to see things as shallow. A lot of you, and I know a lot of people are at this place, you just want to quit your job, right? If you have a 9-to-5, if you have a job that you feel like is got you in the cogwheel, you're just the hamster in the wheel, and you're like, okay, I got to get out of this cycle. I'm done with this. Because that's where all the karmic energy, or a lot of people who are karmics, are there. That's where the NPCs are, right? The non-player characters, the people who have no clue, they're not awakened. You know, that's where they are. And that's why you were there until you awaken. But once you awaken and you're in that place, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. That's that nudge that pushes you. Okay, what's my life's purpose? What am I really supposed to be doing? Because this isn't it. So if you have that feeling, then yes, you're awakening. A thirst for truth and authenticity becomes your goal. You're very aware of your negative habits, or you start to become aware of your negative habits. Things that are, I've mentioned them in the previous sessions. These are things that restrict you. These are things that cause blockages. These are addictions. If anybody has addictions, guys, that's a sign that you still need to heal. Anything that you do too much of, that's not good for you, okay? That can be anything from work to lust, right? What you're watching, what you're eating, what you're drinking, all of that. You experience anxiety and depression all at once. You go through these phases of just constantly things shifting. That's just you leveling up, going through those different phases of coming into or online, right? Coming to a higher consciousness. You go back and forth, in and out of it. You basically want to make the world a better place. You start having this deep want to understand things and how you can help others. Your intuition is going to heighten, okay, as you go through this. You're going to see more synchronicities. That's when you start seeing the angel numbers, and you start paying attention to repeat patterns and animals and things like that, because now you're tapping into the Akashic field, and now you're really paying attention to the way that the universe communicates. It's energy. That's the universe's language. It's energy, and you have to pay attention to the messages as they come to you. They're going to come from all forms. License plates, cars pulling in front of you. There's going to be billboards. There's going to be conversations that you're not a part of, but you hear and it answers your thoughts. There's going to be so many things that as you come online, as you awaken, your senses just start popping off. So these are things you want to pay attention to. Okay, you're going to have a lot of curiosity about life. You're going to start to really love unconditionally the things that deserve your attention. You will love them unconditionally, okay? Either way, you're going to see life through that we're all connected. Everything is connected. Everything. The universe, animals, plants, people, everything is connected. When you start tapping into the Akashic field and you understand what's going on, when you wake up going through an ego death, right? That's when you start realizing, wait, all of this is connected, and how I treat other people is how I'm going to be treated. And it all comes back around like a boomerang. A lot of people don't get that, especially people who are narcissists and karmics and people who want to trauma bond, and they don't understand why they're looped in a cycle. It's because that's the way they're thinking. So that's what they're going to continue to get more of. It just becomes repetitive. The same thing works for you. If you get out of that and you get on a higher consciousness, then that's what you're going to get more of. And that's when you find your happy place. That's when life really starts being better for you. So things that you need to do to kill your ego, you want to transcend that, kill that ego, and get into tapping into your higher consciousness. So the ego will seek to serve itself, whereas if you're in your higher consciousness, you're going to want to help others, right? If you're in your ego, then you want outward recognition. You want to be seen. You want people to see you and praise you almost, right? That's that wanting clout kind of thing. But if you are killing the ego and moving on and you're in your higher consciousness, then it's going to be this inner authenticity about you where you're more humble and there's humility. And if people love you, then they love you. And you don't have to be seen, guys. It took me a while just to show my face. Like, I'm good. I don't have to be seen. But Spirit's like, get out there. So I'm out here. People need to hear this. When you stop competing, having these secret competitions with others, right? And just focus on your own gifts and go within. A lot of people secretly compete. That's part of the ego that you need to get rid of, right? You want to preserve yourself. You're more selfish when you're in your ego. Whereas when you've tapped into a higher consciousness, you want to help others. You want to help preserve everyone. You realize you helping others is helping yourself. That's really a big one. A lot of people can't get out of that selfishness. If you are stuck in your ego, then you're going to keep looking outward and wondering what's going on in everyone else's life. When you heal yourself and you kill the ego, then you go inward, right? And you work on improving and making yourself better. So instead of complaining and trying to put someone else down or make them feel bad, you say, well, why do I feel like that about that person? Let me go within and heal myself. Let me heal that place within me so that me seeing that in the other person doesn't trigger me. These are one of the ways or part of how you can heal yourself. You go from a lack mindset to an abundant mindset. You start to realize there's more than enough for everyone. There's plenty to go around. This world is so abundant. The universe is so abundant, but people who have a lack mindset or poverty mindset, they become hoarders. They're selfish. They don't want to share. They just don't understand that the abundance is here for all of us, right? There's room for everyone. There's more than enough. Every fruit tree has more than one piece of fruit on it. There's how many fish in the ocean? You have to be in this abundant mindset, guys. Don't get stuck in lack. Okay, that's another thing that's a limiting belief. People get stuck there. You stop looking at your life as just mortal and you start focusing on the eternal life, which is what I was saying. You start focusing on life after what we call death. I don't really believe that there's a death because your soul lives on. And what you do when you're in this vessel is just preparing you for eternity. Okay. So this is why I say to you, your energy is your cosmic currency, because everybody only thinks of currency here on this planet, but your currency that you truly have is outside in the universe, right? So when your soul leaves this vessel, what have you done to enrich your soul so that you have currency when you enter into the cosmos? When your energy or your life force or your soul leaves this vessel, it's so important. So don't be drawn to lust, guys. Another thing that you have to pay attention to: if you're stuck in your ego, you're still very lustful. When you're out of your ego, it becomes love, right? It just becomes this love, because you're tapped into the divine current, the divine cosmic flow of things, and you realize love is unconditional and love transcends everything. It is the strongest power out there, and you have to get out of lust. We are triggered, especially in this country, very lust driven. That's pushed in our face, whether it's through advertisement, movies, music. They throw lust at us. You don't want to be stuck in your ego. That's a low vibrational frequency. You want to focus on love, okay, and unconditional love. You gain a lot of wisdom. As you do this, you start to see things. You realize that you are the prize. You're on a journey, and everything that you learn is a gift, okay? So we are all on a journey to learn. You release pain and you heal yourself. That's what it's about. Hi, Scars and Sunshine. So healing yourself is releasing the pain, forgiving yourself and others so that you can move forward and grow and gain wisdom and insight. I appreciate you, love, for the gifts. You understand that you are connected and at one with the Creator. It's so important. That eternal wholeness and fulfillment is you being connected with the Creator, knowing that it's all one. Ascension phases, guys, take you to a higher level of consciousness, and you have to get out of being stuck in just the 3D. There's a lot of things that, help you to leave this dimension and vibrate higher. There's different frequencies, of course. We talk about this in the readings when I give you guys those other world readings that come up. But the 3D, just so you're clear, is the physical reality, okay? The third dimension. physical realm. This is where we're, as humans, we're most familiar or comfortable. You get characterized into good and bad, light and dark, things like that, right? Materialism. And that's just having a linear perception of time, whether it's past, present, or future. In the 3D consciousness, you're tied to the physical body, the material world. That's 3D. There's fourth dimension, which is the bridge, right, between 3D and 5D. So there's fourth dimension. That's when you start to transform. It's a transformation process. This is the area that serves as a bridge between dense, which is the physical realm, 3D, and then the higher vibrational frequency of 5D. And I tell you, sometimes people get stuck. You have to learn how to balance the two when you're transforming, you're transcending, alchemizing the energies. Okay, this is real world, this is 3D. Hey, Pocahontas, and then, oh, this is 5D, and I need to be able to see between the two realms. It can get confusing. A lot of people kind of lose it in that area. People sometimes get labeled because they're speaking of something that's in the 5D, even though they're in the 3D, and they're not able to alchemize or to translate what it is that they're perceiving to someone in the 3D, and that person in the 3D doesn't understand the 5D. And that's where there's this big rip, this divide that's happening with people coming into their spiritual awareness. And the ones who haven't awakened, you can't wake them up. You can't explain it to them unless they've already started to open their eye, okay? Unless they've already some way done some sort of healing and a catalyst or something has awakened them to where they're like, oh, that makes sense to me. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You know, other people, if they're sleepwalking, it's like talking to a wall or a brick. I mean, you're just not going to get through. Okay. So just know you have to be able to balance the energies between the two dimensions until you've actually been able to fully ascend into 5D. That 5D consciousness, guys, which we call the fifth dimension, it is characterized by the unity of consciousness, right? Being at one, like I said, with the Akashic field, where illusions of separation between self and others dissolves, right? And I feel really that's what's happening right now. A lot of us are shifting into that 5D realm and leaving this world behind. And it's a spiritual thing. Everybody wants it to be material so badly, but it's really a spiritual thing. I really feel there's a divide or rapture or separating taking place at this moment for those of us who are in the 5D consciousness and those who want to stay stuck in the 3D world. And that's a lot of what's going on all over the planet, and it's causing a ripple effect in the 3D way of life. And a lot of the things that we're seeing that we're just like, we never seen this before, this isn't making sense. It's because a lot of people have awakened and there's a big energy shift on the planet that's taking place. So you get a profound understanding and connect with oneness when you're in the 5D. And once you know that you know, there's nothing that can shake you out of that. Once you've seen it, you know that you know, right? Ascension phases, signs that you go through. Again, when you're heading into 5D, you start to have the awakening. You go through the dark night of the soul. You have the thirst for knowledge. Your family and friends start falling away because they're not on the same level as you and you can't even relate to them anymore. You start hearing high-pitched frequencies, right, in your ears. You start hearing or feeling like a wave or a hovering, like a wave feeling over your head because you're getting downloads, right? You'll have lights that flicker. Maybe your vision gets blurry. You start seeing little things out of the corner of your eyes. You're shifting frequencies, okay? You're moving into a higher consciousness. You go through a phase where you just want to be abstinent. You don't want to have encounters with other people. You don't want to share body fluids and connections with other people because your chakras are being recoded and you're getting online. And so you practice abstinence, and that can be from alcohol, that can be from sex, that can be certain types of foods, right? Your appetite changes. You start having nausea. There are things that you're going through. Your aura and your chakras are all being recoded. Okay. You're stepping online, and it makes you have to make an adjustment. We all have gone through it at some point. You're not going crazy. It's just part of you shifting and changing. That's you coming online as a light worker. That's you raising your vibration. It just seems like everything in the world flips. It's a higher dimension that you're going into, and it's just a normal process. You do have a hunger or now a thirst for knowledge and wanting to find out your purpose. That's the beginning of you stepping into what you signed up for as far as part of your contract with the universe. Okay, coming here at this time. Yeah, you wake up, you're stuck in a job, you're like, what am I doing here? This isn't even what I want to do. Like you wake up, you start realizing there's something more and I need to go get it. I need to find out what that is, right? The work becomes essential to you. It's because you've done the generational curse breaking work. Your DNA is being recoded. You're being upgraded, right? All of these things are happening. This is on a cosmic level. So many people freak out when they start going through this, but you start connecting with your galactic family. You start realizing your star seed and what star system you're sent from. And, you know, because we're all just stardust here on this planet. Yeah. And spirit will move you. If you are ready and you haven't made the shift, sometimes you have to go through a tower. You'll get fired. Or for whatever reason, the company goes out of business and you got to find another job. Or you get some sort of illness and you end up missing more than you should have from work and you got to move on. Like something just happens where you change your frequency and the universe also changes your path because like, oh, they're ready. We got to get them out of that. That's not where they're supposed to be. They need to be up here now. And it's uncomfortable and sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it is something that it's necessary to get you on your next level because you've done the work. It's time for you to ascend. You start getting a lot of downloads, right? You through your third eye, through your crown chakra, things start moving really fast. Yeah, you need to be with community that gets it. You need to be around people who understand you. It is torture for someone who's awakened to stay on a job with a bunch of people who have not. That is absolute torture. Yeah, all of these things happen. You go through a tower moment, especially if now you're not energetically matched with someone that was your spouse because you did the work and you outgrew them. And I always say this, especially in the love readings, guys. Love relationships, partnerships, friendships, family members, all of these things, relationships are meant to teach you lessons. They're not always going to be lifelong. It is painful because you want to believe that these people are going to be in your life forever. But if they're not doing the healing and they're not doing the work, they can't go with you. They just can't. And yes, it hurts, but you have to accept that you have accomplished a goal. You're talking about eternity. We're not talking about 3D. I just said this is 5D ascension. That's a huge graduation. That's a big level up. And everybody's not going to go. And you're going to have people who are going to be triggered by your light. I mentioned this in yesterday's live. I don't have friends like I used to. I used to have friends, but now I for whatever reason, people are triggered by me. And it is just because I'm vibrating on a high level. And no, I don't think I'm better than anyone. If anything, I want to help people. But most people don't want to do the work. And they get triggered by seeing someone who has a bright light, someone who's happy, who's optimistic, who doesn't have a poverty or lack mindset, who is all about doing the right thing and being a truth speaker and sharing love and all of that. And so it makes them judge themselves. Even though they're projecting it at you, they're disappointed because they're like, oh, I wish I could be where that person is. I'm mad at that, so I'm going to project, right? Hi, Nisha. Thank you, dear. And so if you don't have friends, don't feel bad about that either, okay? You're connected with, again, the Akashic field, the collective. Part of me being on here is so all of us can connect. Those of you who relate when we get on these lives, I always tell you guys to communicate in the lives. You know, it's something that I look forward to every day because it's a way for you to know that you're not alone and you are on the right path, especially when we're all having some of the same types of energies and situations that are happening to us. You start going through the same type of time as far as upgrades, and you start having some similar experiences, or somebody went through something that you went through and you're like, oh, wow, I'm not crazy. I'm not the only person this has happened to. So it's important for us to connect. Hey, Candy. It's so important for us to connect so that we can all stay high vibrational, be encouraged. You know, iron sharpens iron, right? And we will continue to grow and improve. And this is how you start bringing the new earth in. This is how you create the new world, is because you start shifting the consciousness. And the more people who shift consciousness, you create in this 3D. Everything is real in spirit first, and then it manifests into the 3D. And it is created by your consciousness and what it is that you think. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for it to get better around here because this is ridiculous, right? But you have to shift your mindset, and it has to be more than just one person. It has to be a group effort, a collective. So the more that we educate each other, the more that we share our experiences, the more that we raise each other's vibration, you're going to be able to create that here on this 3D level. And that's what's happening. And this is what they are desperately trying to put the brakes on. They don't want this to happen. They don't want to see it get better. They want us to stay, low vibrational, stuck in our ego. And it's like, no, that's over with. But yeah, you need community around you that understands. Okay, so vibe with your tribe. That's the best advice I can give you. Another way you know that you're shifting, sometimes your body is going to purge, guys. You're going to have skin breakouts, right? Because there's just things that are going to start coming out. And I'll get into some of the physical things that you're going to feel as well as you go through the ascension phases, because that's scary to a lot of people. But just know you're tapping into your higher self. There are things that are going to purge out of you physically, and you will feel them. You're going to be creating a new reality in your life, and your DNA strands are going to be working 25 hours a day as far as trying to keep up with the upgrades. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, getting your rest, because it can feel heavy at times. Because yes, you're doing a spiritual upgrade, but your spirit man is in a physical body, so your body goes through transformations as well. That's a superpower phase, as they call it, that you start to feel different. Okay, you're mastering, again, between the 3D and the 5D, and it does require you to do the work, and you're going to have to be adaptable. There's a lot of things that you go through as you ascend, and a part of that is you end soul contracts. So all of these people who are in your life to help as a catalyst, to bring you online, to wake you up, make you see things, understand, oh, wait, I need to change this, and why is this happening? When you finish and you complete that, there's an end of a soul contract with those people, right? There's like a silent alarm that goes off in the universe, in the spirit realm, that signals the end of these karmic soul contracts, because they're no longer needed, because they did what they were supposed to do in your life. And a lot of people try to hang on to soul contracts or karmic relationships when they should just be free and let them go, because they're going to do more harm than good. A lot of people get stuck at this final part of the ascension phase. They don't understand. And because you get stuck on titles, they can't let go of the mother, the father, the sister. These are karmic energies. These are energies that were diabolically trying to bring you down in whatever form it was in your life. Once you've completed and you've done the work and it's time for you to ascend, those soul contracts are over. And you, as part of your final stage of your ascension, have to be able to understand that, oh, this is no longer working for me. I need to move on. I need to free myself from this energy because it keeps bringing me down. It keeps hurting me. This person keeps projecting onto me, sending me evil eye. In some cases, guys, we talk about this. You got people out here doing spell work, right? You got karmic energies that are mentally and emotionally unstable, that decide they want to do black magic because they can't physically control you. So they try to attack you spiritually. And if you're not aware, it works on you. If you're not doing the light work, the cleansing and protecting yourself, then all of this stuff affects you. Yes, and a lot of people get stuck at that phase, Tari. They don't understand, okay, I don't care what title you hold in my life. If you're not for my highest good, and if spirit has revealed to me that you're spiritually attacking me behind the scenes, secretly going and paying practitioners, having whatever it is to slow down my money, my relationships, to give me health problems, to psychically attack me, right? Make me think I'm going crazy, or whatever it is that they're doing, because they're so low vibrational, you're triggering them because you're starting to come online. Your light is glowing and it's triggering the F out of people. Then they start attacking you and projecting. And like I said, they will go to practitioners. They will go to people to try to mess your life up, because your life is starting to look so much better than theirs. And they're secretly competing with you because they're stuck in their ego. You don't even know that there's a competition going on. You're just living your best life and somebody gets triggered, right? They're pissed off. And right now it's running rampant on the planet. A lot of people are seeing, oh my God, this person's been attacking me my whole life. Or all these people have been against me this whole time. Or it's because you're awakening and your spirit team is letting you know, right? The Akashic field is saying, hey, get these energies from around you. You're in a den of snakes or thieves, or you're in there with the lions, or whatever it is. You got to get yourself out of there. A lot of people choose to stay because they get stuck on the titles. Free yourself from that. Know that you can't take these people with you. You're going to have to get past your feelings, okay? And think about consciously, how is it you're going to be able to move on? The spaceship's taking off. Are you going or are you going to stay behind? Up to you. You want to stay here on this raggedy energy level? Fine. But I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting in the spaceship. I'm out. See y'all. You go do your work. I did my work, right? And you have to start doing bit by bit what you can. If that just means you're stuck somewhere and you got to be in the room all day because you don't want to deal with those people and you don't have the money to move yet, then do what you can to protect your energy there. Start doing the cleansing. Cleanse yourself. Get you some Florida water soap. Get you some Florida water spray. You don't have to let people know what you're doing, okay? You can do things to protect your energy and continue to level up and get out of your situation. Depending on how deep you are down the rabbit hole, how long it took you to wake up, determines your situation and what it's going to take for you to get out of that. But there is a way out. And if Spirit has revealed it to you and you start making the effort, then you best believe they're going to help you. But you got to start making the movement, doing the things to help yourself. Okay. Again, I told you, nobody's just going to come and rescue you. It doesn't work like that. You got to get yourself out of the quicksand. You got to get yourself out of the dark woods, right? You got to swim to shore. Nobody's doing it for you. The fact that you're being awakened to it, you've come across this live, there are other people that are going through it just like you, is your sign. Okay, it's doable. And yeah, I might have to pull up my bootstraps and really dig deep if I want to get out, but you can get out. Okay, just know you have to listen to your gut feeling, follow the messages that you're getting from Spirit. Okay, relationships that have now expired is basically what that is. And you've learned the lesson that you need to learn in that situation. Is letting you know it's time to release and move on and keep going. Deuces, I love you. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been lit, but I got to go. And it is what it is. And if those people want to go, then they'll do the work. You are the catalyst to wake them up if they want to wake up, and they were utilized to help you realize it was time to move on. So everybody played their part. Let's go. You got to send love and healing from a distance to those people once you release them. Don't go in hate. Don't go in anger. Always give gratitude to the universe for teaching you the lessons, okay? If you have to do cord cuttings, I mention this almost every day now because people need to know about cord cuttings, especially if you've had a ex-husband or wife, if you've had people with long relationships, whether it's family members, things like that. Yeah, send them away with love and light. That's it. Do a cord cutting, especially if you feel them pulling on your energy. That's where you do the white candle and the black candle, right? We talk about this every day. You get a white candle, you get a black candle. You write your name on the white candle, top to bottom. You write their name on the black candle, top to bottom. You can write more than one name on either one of the candles, depending on the situation. If it's a really strong tie and you really want to say, Spirit, deal with this one person, then put that one person. If it was a group of people and you know that and you can fit their names on there, then do the whole group and just say, hey, I want all these people out of my life. I don't want this spiritual connection. I don't want this cosmic tie, this energy tie with these people anymore, especially if you were intimate with the person, okay? Because you created a spiritual contract with the intimacy. So you want to do that. These are candles. They can be small candles or big candles, whatever it is that you feel will work for you. You can roll the candles and dress them in herbs if that makes you feel better. There are herbs you can use, especially in particular if you know they've been doing black magic and it's been something really heavy. Roll it in some herbs that are hex breakers, like thyme, like rosemary. Like I've mentioned all of these before, guys. Look them up. You roll the candles in those herbs, right? You create a salt ring. Make a salt ring on something that will, like a pie pan, an aluminum pie pan or something that won't burn. You create a salt ring. When you put these candles, burn the bottom of the candle, stand them upright, okay? You want to put those candles in the salt ring and you get your red string and you tie the red string around the candles, which symbolizes the cord that you want to be disconnected, okay? Especially if it's a blood tie. Red is basically a good, strong color to release that. You want to speak a prayer of protection and you want to say, release this energy from me. Ask your spirit team, your spirit guides, the Most High, whoever it is that you connect with, okay? whatever it is that works for you, tied to the Akashic field, you ask them to help you release and remove this cosmic energy, this cosmic tie between the two of you to help free yourself and move on. And you want to do that. Cord cuttings can be done on the full moon. You can really do them at any time. The full moon, or I believe it's the waning moon, is the best time in order for you to release an energy. But if you feel like you need to do it today, then do it today, whatever it is. Okay. Sometimes you may have to do it more than once. If you were in a 15, 20, 30-year marriage, if you're trying to release yourself from your karmic family and you grew up with them and you're 40, then you may have to do your cord cutting more than once. Anytime you feel that pull on your energy, anytime you're feeling heavy, you know that something's going on, do it once a month until it's gone. Do it once a month for a year, whatever it takes, guys, until you feel the energy clear around you and you're able to disconnect spiritually from these negative energies, because they are hanging on for dear life. So you got to do it. That's just one way, guys, of releasing energy. Cord cutting is a big one, but there's other things you can do. You need to do your research, look into banishing spells and freezer spells and all that kind of stuff, especially if you're being attacked maliciously, because some of these energies, they're just demonic, okay? They subscribe to the lower gods, the lower demonic energies, and they've signed contracts with them, and they have to continue to come after you because they got to fulfill their contract. So in turn, you got to fight spirit with spirit. If you got dark spirits coming after you, then you got to use light spirits to fight them. You can't fight you can't fight spirit with flesh, okay? There's nothing that you can do in your physical body to beat up a spirit. You have to fight spirit with spirit. So I always encourage you guys, do your white magic. That's what that is. Keep your energy field cleansed. Eat high vibrational foods. Get your rest. Drink water. Don't overindulge. If you're smoking and getting high and doing all kind of crazy stuff, then you're lowering your vibration to the level of these dark energies. And guess what? They get to come up and mess with you. They get to come up and take your money. They get to come up and ruin your life. They get to attach to you because you're down there on their level. So if you vibrate high, they can't come up that high. They can't get to you. Then they got to go back to the people who sent them. That's the way it works. You have to continue to do the work. It is a consistent thing. It's just like you get up every morning, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you go to the bathroom. You need to include some sort of spiritual hygiene cleanse in your daily routine in order for you to protect your energy. It's not a game. And the stakes are high. They're coming after your soul. They're mad that you're leaving them behind. Okay, so you got to do the work, guys. It's so important. You got to end these soul contracts. Don't stay connected to these energies. They don't deserve your time. They don't want to do the work. Thank you so much for the roses, dear. They don't want to do the work. So leave them where they're at. And I don't care if it's a family member, an in-law, a cousin, a best friend, an ex, whatever. Move on. Don't allow these people to continue to harvest off of you and siphon. They're energy vampires, and they get their light from you being high vibrational. They suck you dry. They attach their cords to you. So you got to unhook these cords. It's like spider webs, right? You got to cut it off of you. Pay attention, guys. Align yourself with the higher frequency, higher consciousness, the higher vibration, and that way you can move forward and your life gets better. Hi, how are you, dear? Thank you for being here. Some of the physical symptoms, guys, you want to pay attention to. Headaches and migraines, okay? If you're getting headaches and migraines, that's coming from you possibly overthinking, but it could be the spiritual downloads that you're getting. So maybe you've been resisting your intuition. Either way, your crown chakra, your third eye chakra is getting a lot of downloads. So if you experience migraines and headaches when you're going through this spiritual awakening, that is a part of those upgrades. Don't freak out. Again, do what you can to get your rest and minimalize it. Drink some water. Meditate, okay? Listen to Hertz music will help you as well. If you get a lot of neck pain, shoulder pain, or tension, you could be still carrying some unspoken burdens, right? Responsibilities that you haven't let go of. You have to resist turning back, okay? Let it go. That's that heavy weight that you're feeling. If you're having that issue, then that's one of them. Throat issues, guys. Sore throat, tight throat, things like that. That's you suppressing how you feel. You're not expressing yourself. You have a fear of speaking your truth. A blocked throat chakra. Okay, do things. Blue is the color. Do things to help your throat chakra. Now, mind you, you have people who try to attack your throat chakra. They will send spell work, and you have to do things to help with that. Drinking teas, staying grounded. One of mine is honey lozenges. I have to do a lot of cough drops. I do a lot of speaking, but I also get people attacking my throat chakra. They don't want me to tell the truth. I have a lot of people that don't want me to tell y'all this, okay? I have been stopped on 4 different platforms before this one. So just know, you hearing me, getting this message to you, it's been a long time coming, guys. It's been like 5 years of me trying to share this truth with people. If you're feeling chest pain, tightness, okay, things like heart palpitations, things like that, thank you so much, love. Then your heart is opening. Your heart chakra may be opening up, right? There's emotional grief that you could be suffering through that's surfacing. It's coming out. You have anxiety, or maybe you've been feeling vulnerable. Okay, your heart's opening. Keep your heart chakra open. That's one of the things they want to do, is shut you down. They want to close your heart chakra. They want you to be bitter and angry. Hi, Kevin. They don't want your heart to be open. That's how you are able to feel love, right? Which is the highest frequency. That's the highest vibration on the planet, in the universe. So if you close your heart chakra, then you're not open to receive. And also the heart pumps through the entire body, everything, okay? If you're having digestive issues, right? If you have upset stomach, or difficulty digesting food, that's you having to digest the life experiences that you've gone through. There's some sort of unprocessed emotions that you could still be dealing with that are causing your gut to feel uneasy. Also know that your gut and your brain are connected, that intuition. So it's important to eat healthy, have a healthy gut, so that they are synchronized, right? And you can pick up on it, whether it's coming through the crown chakra, or if you just get butterflies in your stomach, like, hey, get out of here. That's all connected, okay? That's part of your intuitive, one of the clairs, or intuitive awareness that helps to alert you. It's an alarm system. So it's so important to have gut health, guys. Do a detox if you need to. Again, I tell you, when you're going through an ascension or going through these phases, you need to eat light. When you're getting these symptoms in your body, you need to eat light. Why? Because the body needs to be able to process what's going on. And when you eat heavy meats and starches and things like that, it weighs you down and it dulls your senses, and you can't feel those things. You can't get the downloads. You don't pick up on what the universe is sending to you. So fruits, vegetables, smoothies. If you really have to eat meat, guys, do boiled eggs, do fish, but don't eat the beef, the pork, the heavy stuff, okay? Because it's just going to weigh you down and you're going to miss out on things, especially when you're going through an ascension. Another big one, and a lot of people feel it, I know I did, is the lower back pain. Lower back pain is when you feel unsupported, right? That's that survival fight or flight within you when it comes to like your money issues, your root chakra base. Okay, that's you having issues with your root chakra, especially if, like in my case, it was my entire family I had to walk away from. Okay, that's my roots. That was the people that I grew up with that I thought were always for me. And when I started doing better and things started changing in my life, they attacked me. So you're going to get lower back pain when you're going through separating from people, when you do that cord cutting. When you do a cord cutting and you start feeling physical symptoms in your body, that's letting you know that it's working. Okay. When you start feeling pain and detachment, why? Because these are things that were initially attached to you. Think about your spinal column and areas in the body. There's an aching because there's energy being moved or removed from that place. Okay. So you're going to feel it. Just letting you know. Also, fatigue is a big one, guys. Energetic depletion. If you're feeling like your soul's disconnected, or maybe you've been giving too much and not receiving, there's no reciprocating energy, and you start to feel fatigued. You guys know what it is when you talk to somebody and they're an energy vampire. You were fine. You get on the phone with them and then they dump all this stuff on you and they suck the energy out of you, and you get off the phone, you're like, oh my gosh, every time I talk to that person, I feel so drained, or I'm down. That's an energy vampire. That's a sign that somebody's siphoning energy from you. Again, don't have conversations that are not productive. If it's always gossip, if it's always they got a problem and you can't fix it, and then that's an energy vampire, okay? That is also possibly a sign as well, Shamisa, for sure. Insomnia, guys. If you're waking up at 3 a.m., that's definitely a sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening, okay? If you keep waking up at the same time every night, that's your subconscious that's doing a clearing. Okay, they're getting your attention. That's those intuitive downloads that are coming, that are trying to come through to you. And it happens a lot at 3 a.m. in the morning. It wakes you up. You start waking up every morning at 3 a.m. Yes, you're going through some sort of ascension phase, a spiritual awakening. When that happens, meditate. Get up, meditate, talk to your spirit team. If you need to write something down to remember, maybe you remember a dream or a message that they gave you, These are the things that you need to pay attention to. That means that they are starting to upgrade you and you're going through a spiritual awakening. If you hear ringing in your ears again, or pressure, ear pressure, pressure on the head, the crown chakra, your ears ringing, those are also signs. That is also letting you know you may want to detox, okay? Any suppressed emotional feeling when it comes to what needs to be cleared out, especially about boundaries, keeping your boundaries up. Detox and put your boundaries up if you're getting a lot of ear ringing. Pay attention to it. Skin rashes and breakouts, which is another big one. That's about fear of you moving forward, okay? The lack of trust on your life's path. You need to ground, okay? Get outdoors and ground. Face the challenges. How are you? Hi, Tommy. Yes, get outdoors and ground, okay? Face these challenges head on. You start having breakouts and rashes and things like that, and then you are in fear of moving forward, and it's coming out on your skin, anxiety. You don't want to go through the shift or the change, and you're in this spacesuit, and so your spacesuit starts breaking out because you're resisting the change. So pay attention to that. Yes, it could be tied to what you're eating and drinking, but if you're going through a spiritual awakening, all of a sudden you're getting rashes and stuff, and you weren't getting rashes or acne or anything like that before, you need to stop resisting the change so you can move forward. Hey, Melanated. If you're dealing with hot flashes or you're sweating, yes, you have to do it, Shamisa. You do. Energetic upgrades when you're going through hot flashes and sweating. Ladies, I'm not talking about the change. Y'all know, we know what that is. I'm talking about you start feeling heat, surges of heat, hot and cold, right? Sweating, things like that. You're being forced to wake up to the spiritual side of things and the emotional side of things that you've been set in, okay? Get your rest. Keep your boundaries up. You're going through energetic upgrades. Your spirit is telling you that. Also, frequent colds, okay, or drops in your immune system. That's another sign, guys. That's what that whole C19 thing was about. Like I told you, 2019 was the beginning of the awakening for a lot of people. They labeled it as a disease or a sickness, okay? You're so welcome. They labeled it as a disease or a sickness, but it was the beginning of ascension symptoms, waking up, people coming online. So yes, we used to just call it a cold or the flu. They labeled it C19, right? And then they tried to detach us from the upgrades by doing the thing to everybody. So pay attention to that. These are things that they're trying to stop. I'm telling you, they're trying to stop this ascension process that's going to happen. They can't stop it, okay? It's just who's going to awaken and do the work and continue to help create the new earth. But again, if you're dealing with ascension symptoms with colds, or your immune system drops a little bit, you get a sniffle, or you're like, oh my gosh, my sinuses are acting up, or things like that, especially if it's happening in the crown, okay? That's you having some sort of stored up trauma or fear, deep-rooted presence that you need to let go of, okay? In order for you to get the upgrades, your creativity is coming online, so don't suppress it. All of these things are signs of ascension symptoms, okay? And I'm just touching on a few of them. There's other places where things are stored up in the body that you want to pay attention to. Pressure issues when it comes to the solar plexus or your diaphragm. Yeah, that's definitely a blockage, okay, that you need to work on for your crown chakra. You're suppressing your creativity, right? Some sort of stored trauma that you have a fear of letting go of, that you haven't been able to clear out and release. And that's why it comes on and it shows up as that type of a symptom, Nikki. Okay? Guys, a lot of people are waking up to the difference between religion and spirituality. I'll touch on it a little bit because I know it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. And please don't get me wrong. I grew up in the church, okay? I was a teacher for Sunday school as well as summer camp for the church for several years in a row. My grandfather was a Baptist preacher. All of my cousins, uncles, aunts sang in the choir. My mom was a deaconess on the deacon board. I know what church is, okay? You have to wake up to the difference between religion and spirituality, all right? I'm not attacking what you believe in. Please don't take this the wrong way, guys, but just know Religion controls people, okay? And they have manipulated a lot of us with it. I was very angry to find out about a lot of the things that I had to educate myself on. When you talk about versions of the Bible, that means that it's been rewritten how many times and who influenced the rewrite, right? Everybody is so big on the King James Version. Please do your research on who King James was and the fact that he wrote a demonic book before he wrote the Bible, and the fact that he was slave owners, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. If you really read about who he is, you wouldn't want to read his version, okay? But anyway, religion controls people, okay? Spirituality encourages you to be one with the universe, be one with God. Religion makes you look outside of yourself, whereas spirituality makes you go within. Religion separates people into different beliefs, right? We all have heard of all the different religions, whereas spirituality unites people. It encourages people, regardless of what you believe in, to unite and work together, okay? We all know there's one creator. Every religion has that. There's one creator. We just all call him something different. So don't get caught up in the labels of it. Be careful with following dogma and doctrine and things like that. It's very controlling. I'm not telling you not to have faith. I'm not telling you not to go to church, okay? But know what you're really following, and don't just follow it because your parents told you to. Do your research and look beyond what you're currently doing. Go back a little bit. Find out what was around before the Bible. Where did the Bible come from? Okay. Go look at the Ethiopian Bible. Learn what the Apocrypha is. Okay. What were people doing before religion came to this country? Think about all of these things, guys, because it's a tool to control people. So be very careful with just blindly following it because everybody ahead of you or in your family did it before you. I am not, again, speaking against anyone's faith. Please, by all means, faith is so important. It is what helps us get through each day. You got to believe in a higher power, okay? But just know that religion has been used to control people. So be very careful about what you subscribe to and know what those doctrines really mean and what they come from. A lot of these people who are practicing black magic are in the church. They are in these secret societies and groups, and they hide behind the veil, the title of the church. And this has been going on for centuries. This isn't new, okay? You have to do your research and understand what's really happening. They teach people to be afraid, right? They tell you that there's a hell, wherein spirituality tells you you can create heaven on earth. It is about your connection to the Akashic field. I told you, get out of the poverty mindset. Think about the abundance of life. They want to use fear to restrict you in this religion, right? It's all fear-based. It's not based on what spirituality is, which is love and freedom. If anything, they don't want you to be free, right? They don't want you to have that all-seeing, unconditional love of everyone. They want to control people. So just know, I'm not telling you guys not to believe in whatever it is you subscribe to. Do your research and really dig deep before you wholeheartedly, blindly follow something that could be really sending you down the rabbit hole even further. So just be careful about religion and who and what it is that you're really following. It's just, I had to mention it. It comes up. We have a lot of people who come onto my lives, especially when they see me doing tarot and they want to label it demonic, and they come in with all this dogmatic, religious, banter, and they haven't even done their research. They don't even really know who they're following and why they're following what they're following. They just know that their parents did it and their grandparents did it, and it's always been the right way. When we have left that era, the Piscean era is over. We are in the age of Aquarius. So that Piscean era, that age of religion that they use to control us is done. And if you don't shift and make a change, you're going to get left behind. And they're going to be stuck in a place, and they're going to be very unhappy and angry. And again, the spaceship's taking off, and they're not getting on. They haven't done the work. Shadow work, guys, is major when you're talking about your spiritual awakening. That's that inner child growth, okay? Facing your shadow is strength. We all need to do that. Don't get in this place of denial or get stuck about acknowledging the things that you need to heal, because it's the only way you're going to transform and become better. Look at emotional triggers as clues on generational curses that you need to break. Pay attention to the things that get revealed to you. Oh, I'm not sure why, love. You might need to re-up, Trina. You may need to check your balance, dear. I don't know why. But again, pay attention to the things that trigger you. Okay, they are shown to you to help you or reveal to you the unhealed wounds that you need to release, that you need to work on. If you need to journal things down, when you see patterns, write down patterns. That's another sign that there's something you need to pay attention to and heal. When you start seeing patterns in your life, patterns of the same type of relationships, the same type of friends, the same type of people that you keep encountering or you keep dating, the same type of boyfriend, that kind of stuff, okay? You have to write these things down if that'll help give you some guidance on the conscious things that you need to shift and change. Shadow work is not anything for you to be ashamed of. If anything, it's giving you clarity on the direction you need to go in to help you understand your fears and change the patterns in your life in order for you to rewrite those things and empower yourself. That's how you do the healing. You go into self-reflection. This will help build resilience within you. There's a lot of uncomfortable truths that you're going to have to face to help you strengthen yourself on your spiritual journey, to help clear out that emotional stuff that triggers you. But that makes you stronger spiritually when you do it. You have to forgive yourself. Look at that as a medicine. Forgiveness is so important. It's not for the other person, it's for you. This is that, okay, you know, you get to move on once you let it go. If you stay stuck there and you can't forgive, then you're not going to go any further than that. That's why I tell you, keep your heart chakra open. You have to be able to forgive, guys. Everybody's at a different level, and the people who hurt you, sometimes it's intentional because they are unhealed, and other times it's just unintentional and they don't know that they're hurting you. You have to release, forgive, and just forgive yourself and forgive them and then let it go. Why? Because karma eventually deals with everyone. Karma is the natural cleansing that happens in the universe to help free up energy for people to grow. Now, what they do with that is on them. Realize that boundaries support you when you're doing your shadow work. That's why it's so important, like I tell you, to move on and block these people out. You can't stay stuck there. If you don't set boundaries, they're just going to continue to inflict trauma on you and you're never going to heal. It's going to be like reopening a wound. You heal, then they come back with some more trauma and it reopens. You heal, then they come back with some more trauma and it reopens. So you have to set boundaries to remove yourself from the people or persons that have hurt you in order for you to heal and move on. It's so important to protect your energy while you're going within to gain these truths, to let others know, because they're going to try to hijack you in the process. They're not going to want you to leave them behind. So they're going to continue to project. So pay attention to that. Acknowledge any dark traits, especially if it's repeating. It's definitely time to let go. Definitely. Acknowledge any dark traits that you have within you, right? Channel them into a conscious decision to shift and change, right? Be proactive and not reactive. If you see something that's a pattern, it's time to be proactive about it. Don't just react to it. It's like, okay, let me get ahead of this. I'm done. Energy release is vital to your survival. Okay, meditate, do the breath work. If you have to set a ritual, like I said, 30 minutes of yoga in the morning. Whatever you need to do to cleanse, light a candle, burn your Palo Santo, do your Hertz music, do your yoga, whatever it is that works for you to help you cleanse, release, get yourself recentered on a daily. It could be as simple as walking out in nature, guys. Whatever it is that works for you to help you to reset. But you got to let go of any stored up shadow energy within you. You got to release it in some form or fashion, or it's going to come out in another way. And a lot of times it stays within you and it becomes dis-ease, which it turns into festers and turns into something even worse. And then you have health problems, right? That's when you start having blockages and things that happen in the body because you're not releasing. And it could be as simple as an ongoing cold, or as hard or bad as some sort of heart problem, right? So you got to pay attention to it and learn how to let this energy go, forgive yourself, and release. So important. This is about your ongoing growth, and you have to continue to do the shadow work. It's never truly over, guys. Shadow work never ends. It's a constant phase of evolving on your journey. This is you just continuing to reveal layers to help you go higher and higher and higher in your consciousness. Nobody's perfect, okay? We all have to do it. Everyone has to go through it. It is a form of self-love. Practicing self-love. I tell you guys all the time, be on your self-love tour. It is so important to choose yourself over any and everything else, because if you don't choose you, how how are you going to survive? Nobody's going to protect you. You have to save yourself. I said this earlier. You have to choose you. Love should not confuse you, guys. If you don't know what love is, it should never confuse you, okay? Your spirit aligns with clarity, not chaos. So you shouldn't be confused, and it shouldn't be chaotic. Okay? If you're constantly guessing about something and you're distorted, that, you know, and it doesn't feel right, that's not love. Something's not right. Okay, you teach people how to treat you based on your standards, right? Your boundaries is what sets the tone. That lets people know, hey, I'm not accepting just any kind of treatment. You're not going to give me half-ass, half-effort type treatment. No, stop receiving that. If you allow that, then you're going to get more of that. And that's why I tell you, a lot of people, once you're going through this awakening, that becomes where they get stuck. They don't understand that the boundaries is what's key. You can call in love easily, okay? Say what it is that you want. Let the universe know. Show the universe that you're ready. Trust that it's going to come. Believe and have faith. Negative thinking lowers your worth, okay? It attracts the low energy, low vibrational energy. You want to attract high vibrational energy. You can't focus on karma. You can't focus on negative things, guys. You got to stay positive. What happens is, as you move on and your life improves and gets better, the people you leave behind, they start experiencing karma. They start experiencing life without you. They start experiencing whatever it was they were projecting towards you. Why? Because you're going higher and higher and higher. And like I said, whatever it was they were sending to you can't reach you at a certain level. It has to go back to them. That's when they get their karma. But you got to keep doing the soul healing. You got to keep evolving, getting past the pain, forgiving yourself and them, leveling up. And that's how you release the karma back to them. The universe will see to it that they get their karma. You don't even have to worry about that. Trust and believe. Nobody gets a pass. If something's draining you, it's not love. If somebody's draining you, that's not love. Real love will fuel you, not deplete you. So stop just, attaching and trauma bonding and connecting with someone because of a similar experience. That's not what you want. That's draining. You want somebody that's motivating, lifting you up, and supportive, not because they were on the same level or they went through the same thing you went through. So important to be careful about trauma bonding. A lot of people do that and they're like, oh, well, we're best friends. We went through the same thing. Okay, but is that best friend helping you to evolve? Are you guys progressing, or are y'all still reliving the same pain or staying in that same moment? You got to be careful about these friend groups with, we just going to go out and get drunk and we just going to go and hang out and talk about our exes, or we're just going to go and talk about all the things that we hate and we're going to laugh about it and it's going to be a celebration, but you're not evolving. You're not getting past it. You're not shifting your mindset. Okay. You got to pay attention to trauma bonding. A lot of people deal with codependent friends who like to trauma bond. So pay attention to that. Is that really a friendship? Pay attention, okay? You attract better when you stop settling, okay? Raise your standards and watch who steps up. See who leaves your life. The universe responds to your boundaries the same way that people do. When you set boundaries and you step up and you say, hey, this is about me. I'm not accepting any less. If you don't like it, you can kick rocks with flip-flops. I'm out. See who's willing to ride with you and see who feels some kind of way. That says a lot about where they're at, okay? Being alone isn't lonely, okay? It's helping you to heal. Sometimes you're being put in this hermit mode, in this quiet place, in order for you to heal. Let yourself fall in love with your own company. Learn how to be comfortable with yourself. The more you enjoy being with you, then the less you will tolerate the wrong energy around you. You'll know. Yeah, if something sounds confusing, get clarity on it, okay? Spirit is not going to align you with emotional chaos. So again, don't romanticize inconsistency when you're talking about love and relationships. Don't play games with people, and don't let people play games with you. They will play in your face, okay? Yeah, show self-love, okay? That's the way that you see through and have clarity when you choose you. Don't allow people, just don't tolerate mistreatment. That's the best way I can put it. Love yourself means you got to prove it in action. It can't just be, oh, I love myself, but then you let people talk to you any kind of way. You accept any type of treatment. Like I said, half-ass treatment. Or no. I made the mistake for the longest. I was the giver. because I was the oldest of 3 siblings, and I was always, it's supposed to be for subs, but I don't have 100,000 followers, love. So this is now an open session for you guys. This is my last one. This is session 12. I've done 1 through 12. I did spiritual attacks last week. This one's on Ascension, but I'm uploading them to my YouTube channel. So if you haven't followed me on YouTube, you can follow me there. But yeah, they took away all of my subs that I had. TikTok is on some other stuff right now. Moving on. So welcome. Yes. But yes, don't allow people to mistreat you, okay? Talk to you any kind of way or any of that. Like I said, I was a giver. I was always the one giving, and it wasn't being reciprocated because I was the oldest of 3 as far as my siblings. I was the giver. And when things weren't reciprocated, I just kind of brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal. But secretly, they were competing with me. They were hating on the fact that I was married and I had 3 successful children, and I've been with my husband 30 years, and their marriages didn't work, and all this other stuff. And that's not my fault. They had to live with the choices that they made. I made choices, and my life turned out the way that it turned out. But you have people who get angry and bitter, and they try to project the things that made them unhappy onto you when they don't want to accept responsibility for the life that they chose, okay? So know when people are really on your side, they will reciprocate energy. And if they don't, that's a red flag. You need to pay attention to that. The same thing with friends. And the same thing with other family members. It's not just siblings. It could be in-laws. It could be a jealous baby mama, mother-in-law, because her life ain't doing what it need to be doing. Or, you know, she's been married 15 times and, you know, she's mad that you and her son have been together for the 30 years and y'all have a happy marriage. That's not your fault. That's her fault. She made those choices. But you have people who get angry and they project, and then they try to throw up roadblocks and things and obstacles to make your life miserable because they're miserable. So you have to know when, and just because they're parents or grandparents don't mean they know everything, y'all. It's a lot of older people out here. Mind you, I'm in my mid-50s, but it's a lot of people who are out here that are unhealed in their 70s, in their 80s, and they're not going to change. And all they're going to do is try to make life miserable for other people because they're angry, old, bitter, and they didn't do what they needed to do with the time that they had here. So you have to recognize when these things are happening around you, and when people are secretly trying to undercut, undermine. They will play in your face. They will talk behind your back, okay? Learn how to pick up on these cues because they're out there. You got to heal these old wounds in order for you to make space for real love to come into your life. And the way that you show the universe what type of love that you want is you love yourself first. You set boundaries, okay? That's when the universe can send you somebody that's on your level. The person that's going to love you the way that you love you. A lot of people are in a lot of unhappy relationships because they haven't set the proper boundaries and they've settled and they're with someone that doesn't match the way that they want to be loved. But they didn't show themselves that love first. So the universe only gives you what level you're at and what you're ready for. It's a lot of people walking around in relationships that they're just not happy in because they haven't learned how to love themselves first. Okay? A lot of people. And it's a lesson. And it's hard for people to let go and move on and say, you know what, I'm going to choose me. Why? People are afraid of being alone. People are afraid of healing the generational curses and the trauma. They don't want to go through the pulling back of the layers of the healing that needs to take place before you can connect and be with someone. So all of these things are scars that you carry around, and you have to give yourself the compassion, the love, and the forgiveness, the clarity to choose yourself. If you want to be loved, you got to choose yourself first. And it's hard, okay? I'm not out here preaching to you guys in a negative way. I'm just telling you it's a process, okay? You got to do the healing, and there's self-care practices that you want to do. Be intentional about healing yourself. Even little small actions help you. If it's journaling, if it's taking a bath, right? Doing a nice bubble bath for yourself, candles, essential oils, music. Okay, it's nice to have a little short glass of wine or whatever it is on the side. Take your favorite book, anything like that. If that works for you, do those little small things for yourself. Meditate, right? This is how you reset your energy. This is a signal to yourself and giving yourself respect. Hey, I really love and adore myself. These are little small things, whatever that is for you. That there's a scene in that Baby Boy movie, that mother who was finding her own little joy. I talk about it. She made her little tomato garden. She set up her little 2-seater table, and she got her little wine, and she sat out there in her little tomato garden and drank her wine. And that brought her so much happiness and joy and fulfillment. Find out what it is that works for you and do that. It doesn't have to be a garden. It could be whatever it is, okay, that makes you happy. If it's crystals, if it's pets, if it's cooking, sewing, crocheting, whatever it is that you like to do, whatever makes you happy, you need to do it. Emotional release matters, okay? Yes, a greenhouse, all of those things. Do stuff that adds value to your life, even if it's something small, okay? But do it. Emotional release matters. If you need to cry, cry it out. If you need to put your face in a pillow and scream as loud as you want to scream, then scream, because that happens too. You don't want to scream and scare the neighbors and they call 911, but whatever you got to do to release, then do it. Write it all out to clear it out of yourself and burn it in a burn bowl. Things that release the tension and the pain from your body is so important because it gives you it clears you out. It helps your mind get clarity and raise your vibration. And that's what's so important, the flow of energy. You got to release things. Don't let it be stored in your body, because it'll store in a place and create dis-ease in the body. And like I said, it festers and it becomes some sort of illness. It becomes something else. Okay, so you have to learn how to let it go so that it's not stored in the body. You don't block your chakras. You don't end up always having some sort of health issue. And I don't want to go down the list because I don't want to project onto anyone, but know how to release, okay? Your body is your temple and you have to reset it often, guys. Hydrate, nourish, okay? Remember not to overindulge. Excess anything is not good for you. Also, do the spiritual maintenance, that spiritual hygiene. It's not just your physical body, but your spirit body. You need to take care of both. You're a 2-in-1 vessel. Your spirit lives within this vessel. You can't only do the outside and not do the inside, the spirit man. You got to do both in order for you to be whole, okay? Boundaries are used for healing. People who can't understand boundaries, people who are triggered, people can't respect your choices, they don't respect you. You don't want to talk to them, you don't want to talk to them, and they can feel however they want to feel about it. You don't want them in your life, they want to knock on the door and come over, and you said already, I don't want to see nobody today, and they still think they're going to just show up. They can stand outside. Don't worry about that. That's their issue, not yours. Set your boundaries, be firm, and don't let anybody break those boundaries. This is the way you show the universe who you are and what you're going to accept, and this is how you show yourself self-respect. That is for your healing, for your peace of mind, your happiness. Saying no to projects firmly, there's nothing wrong with that either. No, I don't want to come to the cookout. No, I'm not bringing paper plates. No, I'm not sending no money. I'm not participating. Y'all do that. Whatever it is. Okay. Another thing mentioned, guys, never eat with people that you don't like. I don't know if you guys don't know this. Don't eat and drink with people you don't like and people who don't like you. And you know it. Okay. You don't want to ingest that negative energy environment into your vessel. So be very careful about going to dinners and cookouts and stuff like that. Even fake ass friends and friend groups. You know so-and-so gonna be there and she don't like you and everybody going, so you just gonna go along to get along. No. Hell no. Tell them no. Okay? Don't even go buy your own bottle of wine and go home. Don't deal with that. It's not that big. Let that go. I had to mention that because so many people accept things and they go along to get along and then they feel miserable afterwards. And it's because you sat there and you sat in that environment, you indulged in that, you drank, you ate, you whatever. So you ingested it all. Not only did you go there and participate, but then you ingested it as well. So pay attention to that. Be mindful of who you eat and drink with. Very important. But saying no to projects that from energy drainers is nothing wrong with that. This creates space for you to restore yourself. Do the energy healing work, guys, in layers. You're not going to be able to do it all at once. So you need to pace yourself. One day you can work on the physical side. Another day you can work on the emotional side. Another day a mental area. Okay, your spirit body also needs attention. But you can't just cram it all down your throat at once. You got to take it in phases. Do it in layers so that it has a chance to really settle and you're happy with yourself in the progress. Yeah, don't accept no gifts either. Heck no. If you don't like me, what you giving me a gift for? Yeah, I'm good. And even if it's money, for sure, they will attach spell work to anything, guys. And they will try to bribe you and trick you. And now they've attached something to you. So you definitely don't want to accept gifts. Thank you for mentioning that, Rebe. Yeah, you want to ground yourself often, okay? Grounding is non-negotiable, guys. You gotta ground. If you have a pet and your pet goes outside and sit with your pet, they're gonna bring in the grounding energy to you. Drink tea, herbal teas. Get outdoors with the trees, okay? But yeah, bare feet outside, deep breaths, walks in nature. This will help anchor in the grounding energy that you need. Utilize crystals. This helps you, especially after going through some sort of intense experience. You get stressed out at work. You deal with people that are just narcissists. Sometimes you need to get outdoors, get out that building, go for a quick walk, make up an excuse. Hey, I got to go to my car for something. Whatever it is, get outside and get some fresh air. Give yourself a quick 5 minutes, okay? All of these things. Self-care, guys, isn't you being selfish. It's just you showing up fully for yourself, knowing what you need to give yourself, especially because if you don't give it to yourself, that neglect will create stagnation in your life. So if you don't practice these things and stuff isn't moving for you, okay, that's why you start neglecting yourself, then your life gets stagnant and you get stuck in a place. And this is what I say about forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. So you don't get stuck there. You want to move on. Okay, do the ritual baths. If you need to soak, do that, okay? Work with salts in your baths or soak your feet, okay? Also, essential oils are really, really good. That's a big one for me after a shower, after a spiritual cleanse. I love working with my essential oils. Get you some eucalyptus oil. Work with lavender oil, frankincense. There's so many, guys. They help to nourish the body, and they create a protective barrier all around you, okay? Not to mention it's good for hydrating your skin. Hi, love. Thank you for being here. You're so welcome, guys. I hope this is helping. Thank you. Also, this oils will also help to release old energy as well, and it aligns your vibration with your intentions. Do the beauty rituals. So speak over your oils, write sigils on your oil bottles. Tell the oil what you want it to represent as you put it on your body, okay? All of these things. Call it your beauty oil. All of these things help you. Utilize these things as rituals. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Journaling also will help you stay on track. Write things down. Keep up with your progress. Write down and release. Okay, this is how you manifest. Let things go. Write it down and put it in a burn bowl. This is how you reset your mind, your spirit, and your body in order for you to process and elevate and grow faster. So important to keep up with where you are on your spiritual journey. It is a journey, guys. And you can, I don't want to tell you to create a checklist because it's different for everyone. And just because you create a list, you can't just check that list off and say, okay, I'm done with my inner child healing. No, you're not. Because there's some point in life, there's going to be some sort of hidden trauma that you didn't know was there. That spirit's going to be like, hey, remember when this happened? Something's going to wake you up again, and you're going to have to heal that. But spirit gives it to you. Spirit has a checklist for you. And as you heal, it takes you to the next level of your evolving on your journey, and you got to be ready to receive it. Spirit's like, okay, they healed from this, they're ready for this now. They healed from this, they're ready for this now. Those of you asking about karma and who's going to get their karma and stuff like that, you still got healing to do. If you're worried about somebody else's karma, you got healing to do. Why? Because that person's going to get their karma whether you know about it or not. Here's a secret I'm going to tell you because I've already come to that phase. As soon as you release and you let go and you forgive yourself and that person, and you move on with your life, you're in your spiritual gifts, you're in your purpose, you're happy, life's going along. Some kind of way, Spirit's going to get a message to you. Hey, you remember so-and-so that did that to you back in 2010 or whatever? This happened to them. And it'll come out of the most random place. It'll come from somebody you didn't least expect to tell you what happened to so-and-so. Somebody you'll be like, well, how do you even know them? How do you even know that person? I had something that happened to me on a job that had patience, and the person that wrongs me on that job, I left the job because they wronged me, right? I'm not going to get into details because I don't want to deal with that. And I moved on. I just moved on with my life. And then years later, a patient from that office who I didn't even know recognized me, remembered me, told me what happened to that person that did something to me. I wasn't looking for that. I could care less. That was something that I had moved on from. And it came back to me that they got their karma. So you got to know Spirit has kept a tally of what everybody does. The Akashic field is constantly keeping up with all of the choices that every single one of us makes and how it impacts others and who's creating a list of karma, who gets dharma, right? Because you've done the right thing, there's a list of people who are supposed to be blessed and receive certain gifts because they did what they were supposed to do. You don't have to worry about people's karma. Best believe they're going to get it. And if it's meant for you to know about it, you will, because Spirit's going to give it to you when you're ready for it. It's not because you want to know about it. It's when you've healed to the point that you're ready to receive it. And when I heard about what happened to that person, I actually felt sorry for them. But I also understood that it happened because of what was done to me and the fact that they had to learn a lesson for how they were treating people. It wasn't just me they were mistreating. It was a whole bunch of other people being impacted by that person. And they received karma based off of what their life had tallied up for them to receive. Nothing to do with me. I'm on to my happiness, and oh well, that person's learning their lesson. And that's really what I chalked it up to. It wasn't even a big deal to me at the time when I heard about it. When it first happened to me, of course I was very upset, but years and years later, after I had healed and moved on, is when I found out what happened to them. So don't waste your time worrying about people's karma. Speaking of karma, the karma is a life lesson, okay? And the way that karma works, guys, it's not punishment. It is about helping people to reflect on how they've been treating others in order for them to make the changes that they need to make to grow and get on their path, their journey to healing, right? What you send out comes back, guys. That is just a part of how the universe works. It is used to teach people. It's not to harm people. Now, if people did harm to others, then that's what they're going to get back. And that's just the way that the universe teaches you lessons. Some people are karmics and they're putting your life to test you. They're putting your life to be catalysts to help you to grow. They show you how to break cycles, right? How not to repeat patterns in order for you to move on, to realize you've outgrown something. That's what it's about. You clear your karma by changing your behavior. You forgive, you apologize, and then you choose to be better. The next time this action or this reset comes into your life, you're going to get tested. So Spirit will teach you, you'll get your karma, and then you're going to get retested. That's the way it works. So something you did, you made a mistake on, you didn't get it right the first time. Spirit, you get your karma, you keep moving on in life, and then Spirit tests you again. And are you going to pass this time? Did you learn the lesson? Or are you going to repeat and then create more karma for yourself? And that second time around is going to be worse. So that is the way that it works, right? The way that the universe gets your attention. First, it's a little pebble. Then it's a rock, right? Then it's a stone. Then it's a brick. Then it's a boulder. It's like how many times before you get it? That's the way that it works, guys. Life lessons come in many forms. There are challenges. Sometimes there are delays. Sometimes they're heartbreak. But these aren't mistakes. This is just the universe's way of guiding us and teaching us. And it comes in many forms as like a disguise for you to learn lessons. And not every soul is here to stay. I mentioned this earlier in today's session. Sometimes things happen in life. They arrive in order to trigger you, in order for you to grow and learn how to release resentment, learn how to detach, not be codependent. It comes in many forms, okay? Pay attention to repeat situations and patterns. That's definitely a sign, not a coincidence, that you're missing something. There's a lesson there that your soul needs to get. Pay attention when you see repeat patterns and things that constantly come up in your life. That's the universe trying to get your attention, to get you to change something. You haven't learned a lesson there. This is why this keeps repeating. This is why you keep getting this same teacher, this same lesson, this same person, this same energy. And you're pissed off and you don't like it. And you're like, what the heck? Why does this keep happening to me? Pay attention. There's something you're not getting in that lesson. All right? Self-awareness is key. That is the ultimate karmic tool. Being self-aware, the more you see your own reaction to things is what's going to help you to stop repeating patterns, help you to end cycles that you keep going through unconsciously. Readings, I'm doing love readings after this, dear. Karma can be a collective, okay? It is something about your personal growth, or it's something tied to your ancestors. That's that generational curse thing. Sometimes there are things that get passed down in the bloodline, and it is a part of karma that's on the bloodline that someone has to break. And a lot of us generational curse breakers, we went through a lot of stuff that wasn't our karma, but it was on our bloodline, and we had to break that off of the bloodline. And it's just different. This is cosmic, guys. This is above us, okay? And we all want to know why, but it happens for a reason. Recognize what's yours to change and what is part of life's lessons, teaching you humility, right? Humanity, learning how to be patient. That's one of them, right? Those types of things. Reflection beats regret, guys. So learn how to look at what happened, understand the why in it, and then move forward wiser. Okay, don't punish yourself because of the process or how it came about. I'd rather reflect and learn the lesson than regret not doing anything about it. That is a part of you healing, okay, and it is a part of karma as well. But it is growth, and it is so important to pay attention to these key points. Okay. Nobody's perfect. We are all going to make mistakes, guys, but all of the mistakes carry insight. There's lessons in the mistakes. So when you embrace the lesson, then you shift the karma. Then you're able to clear your path and make a way for things to be better. You want to know how to release karma quickly? You have to pay attention to what's going on around you, right? Results come from your actions. How are you responding? You accumulate karma based off of your actions. Remember that. So don't let things build up to a point where you crash out. You don't release it. You don't do anything about it. You need to identify the pattern, right? The karmic pattern, that's that negative event that keeps reoccurring. Then you need to consciously solve that problem. You're so welcome. You want to consciously solve that problem. Karma has a lot of ways of showing itself to you. You're so welcome, Rachel. Yes. Hi, Deja. So sometimes it's stuff from previous lifetimes, guys, that we're still working out. That life cycle of previous lifetimes, it does come back up. Things you didn't heal in a previous lifetime, you will experience again until you learn the lesson. That's the way school works, right? You go from kindergarten through 12th grade, and there's times some people don't do all the work on a certain level, and then they have to repeat that grade because they didn't do enough to pass to the next level. Life is the same way, guys. It's exactly the same thing as going through school. This is Earth school. So karma may come in different ways, and it comes from previous lifetimes or karma you've incurred in this current lifetime, right? It's like paying your dues. That's the best way to put it. Sometimes things get handed down through the family bloodline, and you have to be the one to take the responsible attitude to correct it. No, it's not fair. We already know life is not fair. Yes, you're so welcome. Lessons that karma brings, don't ignore them, guys. A lot of times we want to suppress and ignore those lessons. And if you don't pay attention, it's going to come up. It's going to continue to repeat because you are here to learn the lesson. You can't ding in the background. You can't bypass the lesson. That's what it's about. Your soul is here in Earth School to learn lessons for eternity. That's what your life is about. You are growing your soul. And again, you are accruing your cosmic currency for eternity. Everybody talks about the resurrection and everybody, moving on and the rapture and all of that. That's what that's about. You're learning in order for when you leave this dimension and you rapture out of here, you've gained the knowledge and the wisdom. You've got the cosmic currency to live in eternity. You come here to learn those lessons. And so many people waste their time. They get caught up in the 3D and they don't think about eternity. And you really should be thinking about your soul's growth and eternity. Okay? Thank you so much. So change your intentions and your actions. When you're talking about releasing karma, go inward instead of outward and projecting in certain situations. Okay? You have to see it from a wider perspective. Do the work. Okay, your beliefs, your feelings, your expectations and behaviors when it comes to relationships and how you handle things, go within and do that work. It's so important. Don't project it onto others. It's your responsibility to handle to deal with how you want to handle it yourself personally. Don't project it onto other people. That's what narcissists do. That's what people who haven't healed do. Okay, they're very toxic and they're still fighting trauma that they haven't allowed themselves to forgive and move on from. You have to forgive in order to eradicate karma. That's the biggest thing you need to remember. Forgiveness is key, guys. This is the way you release the negative energy that will set up your intentions and your behavior and how you respond to things. Your reality is not going to change if you don't forgive. You can't stay stuck there. After you release karma, that's when you notice you don't repeat those cycles, right? You've left out a cycle because you learned that lesson. You don't repeat it anymore. You've healed from the trauma. You're ascending past it, right? Then your ancestors, your soul team, everybody's so proud of you. You break the generational curses, right? You end up stepping into prosperity. Your life gets better. That's when you know you've released yourself from karma, and you don't go back once you do that. Please don't go back, guys. You've done the work. Don't go back to the way things were. Okay? Some of the things, guys, you need to know how to heal your soul. And I know I'm pushing 2 hours on today's session, but I feel like you guys need to hear this. So I want to share with you on how to heal your soul when you're talking about your ascension process, going from 3D to 5D. Do the self-reflection. Okay, like I said, the journaling, write it down to help you understand. You want to meditate. Okay, all of these things will help you to be mindful and practice what it is you need to do the emotional release. Okay, that emotional release, like I mentioned to you, cry, laugh, allow yourself to express your emotions. Don't have that pent up, tension in the body. Please don't do that to yourself. Do artistic expression if you need to. Some people like to dance. Some people draw. Some people create. It's a way. Hi, Miss Hot Stepper. Some people do those things to help them to do the emotional release. It's so important to be able to do that. That's why art is such a big deal. All of the arts are such a big deal. It is a form of release and expression. And a lot of people live for that. Okay. Forgiveness, again, guys, is the big one. I talked about it. I can't stress it enough. Always forgive others. Let go of any grudges or resentments towards other people to free yourself from that negative energy so you don't get stuck in that place. Also forgive yourself. Practice self-forgiveness and compassion because you had to make that mistake in order for you to learn the lesson. All right? Connect with nature. Again, I'm talking about how to heal your soul, guys. Connect with nature. Get outdoors. Spend some time grounding with animals. Immerse yourself in nature to find peace. That's what it's all about. Go for nature walks. Take regular walks. Relax. Put out a blanket, crisscross applesauce at the park, whatever you need to do, okay, to connect with nature. You want to engage in spiritual practices, guys. This is another form of healing your soul. That can be any form of prayer, meditation, connecting with spirit, okay? You got to release or you're going to be stuck in that trauma of what that person did to you. Ask your spirit team to help you to forgive. Engage in spiritual practices, what I was just saying. Spend time in meditation and prayer, okay? Speak positivity. Do something ritualistic, a ceremony to help you participate in a ritual to connect with your spirit team. Whatever resonates with you on your spiritual path, guys. We all have different forms of faith, okay? Spirituality is your freedom to connect with whatever deity, whatever it is, as far as who you subscribe to as a higher being over your life. Whatever that is for you, okay? Self-care, guys, is another way to heal your soul. So important. Physical care, maintaining a healthy body, a healthy lifestyle, proper nutrition. I mentioned that. Stay hydrated, exercise, get your rest. Mental care, right? You want to engage in activities that stimulate your mind and bring you joy. All of these things are forms of self-care. I talked about the bubble bath and the ways that you can spoil yourself there. Whatever it is that works for you, guys. The energy healing is also important. Energy healing is like Reiki, massages, right? Explore different energy healing methods that would work for you to bring in balance and restore your energy. Chakra healing as well is another form. Work on balancing your chakras. This will also promote overall well-being in the body. Your chakras have to be in alignment for you to get those crucial downloads, okay? There's a whole lot going on right now with the Schumann resonance, and a lot of people are coming online and getting downloads. You want to pay attention to that. Do the energy healing. Also, you want to embrace solitude. It's so important for you to spend some quiet time alone. Spend time with yourself in order for you to reflect, in order for you to meditate and connect with your inner self, your higher consciousness. You got to spend time alone. Some people go on retreats. You know, if that's something that works for you, go on a retreat. Consider going to a spiritual retreat. That might help you guys. Or a wellness center, right? To help you connect with the deeper healing. Whatever that does. Maybe there's a yoga retreat or some sort of spiritual retreat that you want to go on. That will also help you to embrace the solitude. Be mindful and intentional, guys. Stay in the present moment. Be aware. Practice really being fully engaged with your healing. Okay, it's not something you want to just bypass. I encourage you guys to do this on a daily basis. It's so important. Make conscious choices to align yourself with the desires of your heart. Okay, keep those boundaries up. And also, guys, you want to practice gratitude. Always give thanks to the universe, to the creator, whoever it is that you subscribe to that's giving you the guidance. Okay, write a journal of the things that you're happy and thankful for. This is going to help you keep a positive outlook on life. Something to do, maybe daily affirmations even, or get you a book of positive affirmations, but something where you're giving thanks and gratitude on a daily basis for, the abundance in your life, the things that you already have achieved and the things that you are happy for. Okay, you guys, shifting into a higher consciousness is so key. It is about leaving this matrix behind. If that, I labeled it the matrix at the very beginning, but you want to get out of living in this matrix. You want to do the work. It's the only way to get out of this rat race that they got us in, guys. You have people that they label as the elites that control everything. They control the masses. They use the media outlets and celebrities and movies and engineered food and all the things that they're manipulating, right? Their tactics to try to keep people enslaved and controlled. In order for you to be free, guys, you got to dismantle these things out of your life. You got to do the work to raise your consciousness, to cleanse the lower vibrational frequencies, the fears, right? The shame, the guilt, all of the things that you have been afraid to deal with, the insecurities, right? In order for you not to be controlled. This is how you free yourself from this system that they have everyone under. You got to stand your ground, and it is about us collectively doing it as a whole. Once the truth comes out, then there'll be more light in the world, and people won't be controlled the way that they're currently controlling everyone. But it's going to take everybody doing their part individually to heal and vibrate higher and get out of the system, that they have us in. Because it's really a low vibrational 3D dense system. And a lot of people need to adjust their attitudes and wake up to it. This is how we heal, guys. They're conscious. They're continuously making people sick with a lot of the methods that they've been using in the 3D. So you have to elevate yourself up out of it. And it is going to be work. It's going to take work on your part to do it. But you can, okay? You want to transcend. You want to do the quantum jump and get out and shift timelines. Transcend from the past, right? Set your frequency higher. Reprogram your patterns. Release the old identities, okay? Emit a new vibration. Raise your vibration. Align your energy field in your body higher, okay? Take the inspired action and just do the work, guys, so you don't have to continue to repeat this process, because you'll just keep jumping back into the matrix if you don't do the work, guys. I hope this has helped you guys. I don't want to go too much further. I think I'm right at about I said an hour and it's been 2 hours. It was just a lot longer than I thought, but it is the final spiritual session that I said I was going to do and let you guys know. Yes, there's starseed bloodlines, and we all are awakening to who we are. Yes, I will. You're so welcome. We're all stepping into this new timeline, and I'm doing my part and sharing what I already know about it. Of course, I don't claim to know it all. There's so much more, guys. I'm only scratching the surface, but I'm sure a lot of this is encouraging to some of you on here, the people who are still here. I will be doing the love readings next, guys. You're so welcome. You are so welcome. Thank you. I'm going to end this session, guys, and then give me a few minutes to reset and go over to the table, and we'll do today's love readings. Hey, Aboriginal girl, you just caught the last little bit. I'm getting ready to go to love readings next. But guys, I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel. It's so important, and I feel that so many people need to hear this, okay? Thank you so much, those of you who've been here the whole time. I appreciate you guys, and I really encourage you, do the work. It's worth it, okay? I'm someone speaking from experience. Don't give up and don't feel defeated. Learn how to forgive. Learn the lessons. Don't repeat the cycle, okay? This is how you exit the matrix. And I want to see you guys make it. I want us all to make it, right? You're so welcome. Thank you again. If you guys will give me just a few minutes, I'm going to end this session, this live, and then I'll be back to do the love reading. So just tune in about maybe 5 minutes. Just give me time to switch over to the table behind me for the tarot readings for today. Thank y'all so much. I'll be back. See you soon. You're welcome.